So now that we've got all our pieces on, all nailed in tight, the next step is to fill the nail holes and caulk the cracks wherever they may be. So this is just your standard caulking gun, very easy to use. Standard caulking, interior, white is obviously the color that you want. It has measurements. You won't be able to see this on camera, but it has little measurements right here on the very, very tip, and it shows you where to cut it. Now these caulking guns have a thing where you can slide the end right in here and click it like that and cut it before you put it in here, but they don't give you a very good cut. So I recommend just taking a razor knife and cutting it yourself. You find one of these little marks there. There's one that says an 1/8 inch, and that's the one you want. And you give yourself a little bit of an angle and just pull through it just like that and cut it just like that. So you should have a nice angled cut on there. That way, when you're doing the actual caulking, it sits well right on that. You can put the angle of the cut you just made right on the top of the shoe molding. Give you a nice straight line. So, you just got to pull the handle a couple times to get the caulking to the tip. Once it's at the tip, you can take a little bit off with your finger and you just press it right into the nail hole, just like that, and then clear off the excess and your nail hole is filled. And you just repeat that every time you've got a nail. And the purpose of this is so that it doesn't look like your shoe molding has a bunch of holes in it when you paint it. So just squeeze out a little bit more anytime you need to. Fill your hole, and then when you're doing the top crack, you just try to match this angle here with how you're holding the caulking gun, so that once it's on there you just pull. You keep steady pressure on the handle and keep the gun at a steady speed. Get yourself a pretty nice bead of caulking right there, and then just take your finger, you just wipe it just like this to flatten it out. And you can tell the difference right here with what I've flattened with my finger and what hasn't been flattened. So if you don't flatten it, it's not going to look right. And the trick to doing that is to use as little caulking as possible so you don't have a lot left over. You end up with a big mess. So just repeat however many times you need to, flattening out the caulking with your finger until you're happy with it. And that's it. Caulking.